did you? You did.
Okay.
So Shabbos Parshas Mishpatim, Parshas Shkolim, Avarchim Achedesh Oder Tovshin Tovshin Chaf, 1960. Says the pasuk Zeh Yitnu. This is what they should give. Kol Oiver Al Apkudim, all those who literally pass by the ones who count them. As Rashi explains, when you count things, certainly avoids me. Speaking of people here, but they file by and you count them. So each one of them that is counted, which means in effect between the ages of 20 and 60 men, have to give machzis shekel, a half shekel. Then the pasuk goes on to say esrim geira shekel, a whole shekel is 20 geira. Machzis shekel, they should give half a shekel, which is 10. Truma la'avaya, a literally elevated gift or offering to Hashem. Okay. Actually should get that clear, the pasuk, because the Zohar now is going to analyze it, and it's quite cryptic. And the rest of the Maim is going to explain it. So again, the pasuk says again, let's remember what it says. It starts by saying, this they should give. What should they give? A half a shekel. Then it says, a whole shekel is 20 geira, and they should give a half. And then it says, Truma LaHashem, an offering to Hashem. Okay, Visa B'Rayim Mehemna. Rayim Mehemna is a part of the Zohar. It means faithful shepherd. Rayim Mehemna generally explains mitzvahs. The Zohar is a general commentary on the Chumash. But the Rayim Mehemna, dispersed throughout the Zohar, explains mitzvahs. Case in point is this one. So the Rayim Mehemna asks, Man machzis shekel. What is half a shekel? And answers, Kagoin. Now, usually means that for example, but it doesn't mean for example, it means to illustrate. Chatzi hayin. Half, or in between the hays. Hain, not a hin, hain. The two hays. We're talking about Hashem's name, Yud Kei Vav Kei. So in between the two hays is what? V'do Vav, that's the Vav. V'mutza ben shnei hain. The Vav, that's the middle. Very cryptic comment. The middle is the middle letter in between the two hays. We've got to get this clear because the whole Maimah is going to explain this. I haven't learned the Maimah yet, Frank. I'm just telling you this is what's coming. What? Can't hear you. In between, hain. In between the two hays. Come closer, I can't shout. Stay closer here. No, I'm serious. So that's the Vav. In the Yud Kei Vav Kei, the Vav is in between the two hays. Are we clear or we're not clear? Yes? Again, half a shekel. So the Zohar is saying basically that the Yud Kei Vav Kei is like a shekel. We'll see detail, but that's the general sense I'm getting now. So half, what half? Between the two hays of the Yud Kei Vav Kei. And what letters in between the two hays? The letter Vav. Yud Kei Vav Kei. The Zohar continues, Avna lemishkel ba, literally a stone by which we weigh. So when you have a weight, you have on two sides the stone. So on each side is as follows. Da Yud is 10 on one side. Esrim geira shekel, because a shekel is 20. And Da Yud, you divide the shekel, you've got 10 on one side and 10 on the other. Okay? This is meant to be, it's not confusing, but not understood because we need explanation. Mavaya HaRamez, or Ramaz is Rabbi Moishe Zechus was his name. He was a Mekubal, a big Mekubal. Chassidus brings a lot because he wrote, they called him Remez, after his name. He wrote a beard on the Zohar, a classic explanation on the Zohar, as well as many others, if I'm not mistaken. He lived in the 1600s, I think. So he says like this, Shebazeh the Zohar is in this commentary that we just learned. It comes to answer two questions. Let's just see it again. What did the Rambam have to say? It says, what is a half a shekel? And then it is the in between, the half that divides the two hays. And what's that? That's the vav. Then it talks about a weight. Huh? Sorry? And it talks about a weight that is evenly, weight has to have two, right, a scale has to have two sides, so you've got 10 on one and 10 on the other, and that makes the estim gate of the 20. Yeah, now let's see what the Ramez says. So he says that the Zohar is coming to answer two questions on the pasuk. Aleph, the first shayla, shehiktim ha-pasuk machsa shekel. The Torah says you have to give a half a shekel before even telling us what a whole shekel is. The order should have been, you'd expect the pasuk to say like this: a shekel is 20 gera. Give a half, 10. Doesn't say it that way. It says everybody should give a machsa shekel. And then it backtracks and says, yeah, we'll have to give a half a shekel. And then it backtracks and it explains what a whole shekel is. And then we know what a half shekel is. Give us that information at the outset. That's the first kasha. Or even simpler, actually, Yitnu, actually, they could drop the whole half shekel business. Just say, even clearer, what should they give? 10 geira, 10 geira. And that's simplifying it completely. Okay, so it's a combination of the two questions. We don't know what a shekel is when the Torah says give half a shekel. And then when it does tell us it's 10 geira, so then say just that, give 10 geira. You follow? That's the first shayla the Zohar is answering. We'll soon see how. Va'beis. And the second shayla is what appears to be a repetition of the pasuk. Mashakosiv achakach machzis hashekel trum al Hashem. Shenirdim miyuta. That appears to be superfluous. It's not that I'm saying this you shall give. You're giving it to the Mishkan, so obviously being given to Hashem. Right, this was the purpose of buying korbanos. So why conclude by saying Trum al Hashem, an offering to Hashem? These are the two questions the Zohar in its cryptic comment is coming to answer. How does it answer it? So this is all the Ramez. This is all his explanation. And we Indian understand his explanation. So the Zohar is coming to tell us there are two levels of machzas hashekel. The opening statement, and then the one defined as the 10 geira. Yes? Achas krileles, one level of half shekel incorporates v'stomis means, and it's undefined. Stam. Stam means literally that, but not defining what that is. Comes to the word sosam, hidden. The first there is this half shekel that we're told that you have to give without us being told what the actual amount is. Now what is that, says the Zohar? What's this hidden kind of undefined half shekel? V'hu vav. That's the letter vav. Shechaytze or mismatze, that divides and is in between, separates bein shnei hahein, the two hays of Hashem's name, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. Mavur in Yonam bedrushi machzas shekel, as explained in the Maimorim of machzas shekel. And frankly, I don't have the svarim. I couldn't look it up. I'll ask Levi to it's not negated to us directly because he doesn't go into it. But there they explain this meaning of the vav that separates the two hays, although it seems to me at the end of the Maimer it is addressed. At any rate, so that's the first part of the statement. When the Torah says, Kol Eivel HaPekudim should all give a machzas hashekel What are we talking about? We're talking about a hidden general statement. And what is it specifically? It's the vav of that divides half, the two hays, and splits the two hays and divides them into half. Then there's a second vav base. Then the pasuk goes on to define in detail. It tells us that a whole shekel is 20 gera. So half is 10. So that's the second level of machzas shekel. Vav base chatzi or esrim gera shehu yud. Half of 20, which is 10. So now revisiting the Zohar, and we'll see this is what it's telling us. Man machzas shekel. What is the half shekel? Kleimar, the Zohar is saying, the mi yechaven lekoide b'shem machzis. How can we call it half? Koide meidos kamas shekel before we're told how much it is. And it answers by saying it's the level of, it's the vav that divides the hay. Yachakach pirish, and then the Zohar goes on to say, avna lemishkalba, like a stone or a scale by which we measure weights. That's the second part of the pasuk. Shesau inyan esrim gera shekel. That is that the shekel is 20 and it's 10 on each side. Tahainu ha'even sheshoiklim boy, the stone with which we weigh, shehu yud. So the stone is yud. Ulenegdoi shoiklim vav dalid. And then we're kind of dividing the yud here. The yud is made up of 3 letters, yud, right? And a vav and a dalid. So the yud is in numerical value of 10. And the vav of the dalid, the milia yud, as you spell out the yud, 6 and 4 is also 10. So this is another division. This is a lower division. The higher division is the division between the two hays, the vav. And the lower division is the division of the 20 into yud on one side and vav dalid on the other. And then the pasuk concludes that this machzas shekel, when you're dividing the 20 and you have yud on one side and yud on the other, in effect, or vav dalid, that is truma l'Hashem. Shemachzis me'esem geder yitum l'Hashem. It's when you divide the specific 20 into 2. Now that's achieved the Truma l'Hashem. Okay, that is the Pirush of the Ramez. Are we kind of clear? Just technically, we don't understand what's going on, but we understand what was just said. I mean, we're not expected to know more than what we just read. That's why we have the Maimon. So now the Rebbe starts the beer a little bit.
The 2 hays are
Can't hear you.
The 2 hays are of a hain, or
You speak up. I don't know.
2 hays that is trying to splice and saying that the vav is in the middle.
That's the machzas shekel stam, the higher madrege machzas shekel, and then there's a lower madrege machzas shekel, which is dividing the 20 into 2, yud like a weight, like a scale, yud on one side and vav dalid on the other. So you've got 10 and 10, and when you give that 10, that's truma l'Hashem. That's what we know so far.
When he said it the first time, Kugain Chatzi, the next word is.
Where are you pointing to?
Third line.
Of the Maimon, third line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says Chatzi, and then the next.
Hahin, half the hays.
Hay, so it's not Hahin like.
No, not the hin as the weight in the. No. Hahin.
So it's not making a.
Sorry.
It's not making like a hekesh between machzas shekel and the chatzi ahin, and saying, and that's how, what like the idea of being half of something is the vav between the hays, and he pulls that from the pasuk of chatzi ahin.
I don't think so.
That's kind of how I.
No, it's not, I don't think it's talking about the hin. There's no indication of that. It's possible.
But he's saying the word hain on third line. Chatzi ahin b'do. Vav must be shnei hain of the 3 of not hain.
No, but he's saying that the Zohar is saying that's the meaning of the chatzi, but it's not. No indication yet. Maybe it'll come out that way. It's one mitzvah. It's one measure. It's a machzas shekel. I don't know if it's connected. But it could be. Could be actually. That would explain why Kagoin for example, employing, which means you're quoting something else and you're applying it here. Maybe that's also the meaning of the Chatzi Yahin, of this is the measure of oil that was brought for certain korbanos, depending on the size of the korban. Possibly. At any rate, Ubaklol, as the Rebbe concludes here, Hu Inyan Dalad Oisi Shem Havaya, what the Zohar is talking about, and this whole Machzah Shekel mitzvah is all about the 4 letters of Shem Havaya. Shai Machzah Shekel Aleph Vav, the first level Machzah Shekel, which is undefined, that's the Vav. That divides between the 2 hays. Machzah Shekel Beis Hayud. And the second half a shekel is the 10, which is half of the 20 gera. The pasuk starts off by saying, this you should give. So this is that is some level which will identify, which is even before, higher than the Yud Kei Vav Kei. So then, now in total, so first the pasuk says Yitnu, and we'll see that that's higher than Shem Havaya. Then the pasuk goes and talks about the Shem Havaya, the 4 letters of Shem Havaya. And when it comes to the second Machzah Shekel, which we have to explain, the 10 and the 10, you only give 1 10, mind you. That one is the Truma Lavaya. All is to be explained in the Maimer. Okay, so we just have some technical information. We don't really understand it, and that's the Maimon is going to explain. To understand all of the above, we first must preface Inyan Dalad Oishes Shem Havaya. Moishe, why don't you sit at the table? Huh? Why don't you sit at the table? Huh? You're more comfortable like that?
Waiting for a while.
Okay. So what's the Dalad Shem Havaya? Dihina Yeshnam Zayin Shem is interesting. It's a hemshech to the Maimer Basi Legani. So there are the 7 names Sheinem Nimchokim, which is brought in Halachim, which once written can't be erased. But But in more detail there are 10. Why? Because you combine Kael often. No. Often 2 names of Hashem are combined. No, Kael often goes together. No, Alekatz Vokos, etc. So in detail, because of combination, there are 10. Mind you, even the 7 Shemus, there's many shittas what these 7 Shemus are. So there is 7, and there's more detail, there's 10. What he wants to bring out is Hashem Havaya, Shem HaMefurish. Hashem Havaya, that's the explicit name of Hashem. The one, explicit meaning to say the one that expresses Hashem in the most articulate way, Shem Ba'etzem, referring to the very essential name, Shem HaMeyuchad. These are all words of the Gemara. And the special and unique and holiest of all the names is Shem Havaya. Hashem is continuing, just like Shem Etzem Shem Havaya Miyuchad Mishar Hashemes, just like Shem Havaya stands apart from the other names, because it's an essential name, whereas the other ones are particular attributes. So too, Kach also Gam Ba'ois the Shem Havaya, the letters that make up Yud Kei Vav Kei. They are different, of a different caliber and order than the letters which make up the other names of Hashem. And wherein it lies the difference, he goes on to explain. The general distinction is analogous to the difference between letters engraved in the substance, in the rock, as opposed to leishis aksiva, letters written on a parchment, on a paper. Meaning the difference is when you engrave a letter, So the very letters are bound up and essential with the source itself. And then letters which are written are oisius hanivdolim and they are imposed on the parchment. So they are revelations that are not expressive of the essence. And letters, I think he goes on to say, the idea of a letter is a revelation, it's a communication. In fact, the word ois, so this brings is osa, boiker, morning is calm, light. So there's two kinds of revelation: an essential revelation that reveals the essence, and then you have revelations that are separate, that don't convey the essence, but convey a particular manner in which Hashem is revealing Himself, an attribute. Hainu, meaning sha'oisius haksuvim, written letters, shehem b'jel haklaf, they're ink on a parchment. Ha'oisius einim in haklaf atzmoi. The letter itself is not part of the parchment. It's something added to it. And they're separate. Whereas letters engraved in a precious stone, the letters are not something imposed on the stone. They are part and parcel of the stone itself. All this to explain the letters of Shem Havai, even though Shem Elikim is also made up of letters, and Shem Elikah, and Keil, and Tzvakos, but it's a different order of letter. Even though Shem Havai also has the letters, as the other names do, Shal Yod and Moagiloi, sorry, it says all this, that it's through them, through the letters, that there's revelation. Shezel, he said that's the meaning of Oisi's letters. Meloshan Osa Boiker. The pasuk in Yeshaya, morning has come, revelation. Shem Megalim, Mikamokim Oisi's Elu, but the letters of the Shem Havaya, Him Oisi's Atzimim, they are essential letters. In other words, they're Kalim, but they're Kalim bound up finish the word? Inexorably. Inexorably, that sounds better. Inexorably with the very essence itself. Notwithstanding that they are a revelation, they do not conceal. Elaborates further, written letters, they're additional to the parchment. This means a revelation that comes at the price of concealing the source. It has to conceal the infinite source and then convey the particular revelation. And quite physically, how is the letter on the parchment? It has to cover the parchment. It's through the fact that the letters cover the parchment, nasa giloisis, that's how the letter is created. Whereas essential letters, like engraved letters, so the letters do not at all conceal the essence. They're part of the very precious stone itself.
A stone that is engraved, it is mild because of the place where it's engraved. It's not shining as much as the rest of the stone.
He's not saying that.
It dulls.
He's not saying that.
Extent. I know.
He's not saying that. What he's bringing out now is that it's the stone itself. It doesn't conceal it. So there's other things too. The place where the letter is, the stone has to be removed. That actually is explained. All these pratim in one of the first Amorim that Rabbi gave out, if not the very first one, Yudalef Nissen, the Moedus, the Shal of the Ben Chacham, the whole Arichas there, and Eises Achkike, how it's connected, Erasoivev, and Eidus connected Atzmos, very deep minded. At any rate, Vinyan Eises Eilu, did we learn it? I think we did. We didn't. We should. It's a mind that himself gave out. So okay, let's be all well, and before Pesach, listen time, we should learn it. That's the first mime of his own that the Rebbe gave. No, Lamed Ches. Maybe this is before Lamed Ches. It was after.
Remember the Lamed Ches?
Not-
You mean when you get to the Shluchim at the last.
That was- yeah.
It was a minor from base.
That was all- that was
was
only-
given out.
That was
When
only
you
the
say gave
shluchim.
out, you made a chalukah.
Yeah, this was the
Yeah.
first time given to everybody, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody got was this one. Binyan Oisius Elo. At any rate, so Oisius Achkike Hu Gilu Etzem. So this is not concealing the essence, but revealing it. She'etzem is Galabem. The essence of Elikus is revealed through Yudke Vavke. Like the stone itself is not concealed and expressed itself in the very letters engraved in it, unlike ink on a parchment, that the parchment needs to be concealed in order for the ink to make its statement, in order for the letter to be written. Conclusion, as even bebeis the Shemavai. She'ein daven noisef. The oasis of Shemavai are not something additional to Elikus. Ein the malimim klal. They don't conceal it all. Vinyan Oisius, so why is there letters? What are the letters? The point being that Hashem is revealing Himself, so therefore, in that sense, it's letters. But they do not conceal. And they simply serve the function of the essence being revealed through them. Now the fact, however, is that there are different letters. There's Yud, and there's a K, and the Vav, and a K, which means we're talking about different attributes. However, as he's saying now, and he'll explain further, even though we're talking about descriptive and different attributes, they do not conceal the essence, as he will explain. Let's begin a little bit. Obira Inyan, Dihine, Dalad the Shemavaya. So we just said now, right, that the four letters all express something different. So this needs to be understood. How is it, on the one hand, they express something different, and yet, as he just stated moments ago, they reveal the essence. The essence is one, and it's and without division and without definition. So how are we saying, on the one hand, it's the Oisius of Shemavai reveal the essence, and yet we're talking different letters that convey different properties? That's going to be explained now. So what are the four letters? So there's a Yud, there's a Hey, there's a Vav, and there's a Hey. So in general, it is the following four stages or states. Namely, Tzimtzum, first contraction, that's the Yud, which is a point, the smallest letter, implying that the Oir has been removed and contracted. Then comes a Hey, looking physically the letter Hey. Hispashtus, expansion. The letter Vav is a line that comes down. That's Amshocha, drawing down. And then the final Hey, Hispashtus, expansion again. We just got now this template, which is elaborated upon in the endless Maimorim of the meaning of Yud Kei Vav Kei. So let's just define it again. Tzimtzum, a point, or first the removal of the Eid in Sof, as it were, and then an expansion of the point, the drawing down of it, and then expansion again. So what is it? What are these four levels? That explains now in a moshel. Let's look at the stages and the process by which a master is conveying a concept to a disciple who is not incomparable to him, not a colleague, but a disciple. And the idea that he's conveying is totally beyond the ken of the Talmud. So what has to happen? He cannot entertain the idea, the master, as he entertains it in his mind. That cannot be conveyed. Simply impossible. So what does he have to do? He has to concentrate. Tzimtzum needs, in the sense of concentration, the whole sophistication of the idea, of the concept that he has it in his mind, into a simple nakuda. Got to distill it into a simple point, a singular point. I'd say simple but singular. So Shuyin HaYud, that's the Yud. This point, the Yud is a point. That's the first stage. This is all happening in the mind of the master. Now this distilled point contains with it everything that he will convey to the recipient. Moreover, he hasn't compromised in essence. It's all there. The essential idea, as he knows it in his mind, is also there, but not manifest at all. But it's all contained in this singular, distilled formula, if you like, or point. So this is all still the Yud. But the point you just said now was, but in this simplified, singular definition, the depth of the concept is there as the master knows it, and therefore there will be a Maimer Hazal, and that explains this is the Maimer Hazal that Adar Boin Shnin takes 40 years till then. Like Koi Inish Adaita the Rabbi, a person will not be able to literally arrive or stand or grasp the teaching or the mind of his teacher. But after 40 years, yes. That after 40 years he does arrive, he does grasp it. The question is, if we would understand things superficially, that what the Rav gives him is a compromised idea, again, forever he'll never arrive at the understanding it the way the master does. We must therefore say that he doesn't. That the true master gives over even in the singular, distilled formula. In essence, it's all there. And that's what he goes on to say now. Since he's not getting the seichel as the Rav knows it, but only external dimension, the Rabbi, which is why for 40 years he'll never grasp it as his teacher does. What happens after 40 years? How will you ever, if you never got it, you can't plumb the depth of something if the depth isn't there, no matter how many years later. As he concludes, that again, this is a true master, and if he's truly not compromising the idea, that in the point that he's distilled it all, in essence, everything is there beyond the ken of the Makabel currently, but it can be mined and discovered after 40 years, to be continued by Hashem tomorrow. Oi, I didn't record. You know what to do. Mm-hmm.